All right. So does this player spawning at the left side of Bellshoe Beach have what it takes to stay in the GSL? I don't know. Things look pretty bad right now, but it's a different map. It's a different time. It is
MVP TaeLS.
MVP TaeLS.
I don't know, man. When you do a build like he did, you flip a coin. Sometimes it lands on TaeLS.
That's so funny. You're so good at that. All right. Our blue Terran player over on the right side of the map. He won the last game. He is.
Players TaeJa.
Doesn't give me a lot of time with that.
That's like literally what he did, man. He was like, well, I don't know what you're doing, but I guess I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
Sorry, that coin landed on TaeLS. You know what else landed on TaeLS? About 4 siege tanks, 15 marines, and 4 banshees. That's what landed on TaeLS.
Landed right on him. SCV using the ability of this map to actually wall off just 2 buildings instead of 3, which is kind of nice.
I like that little defensive high ground that you get on this map.
Oh, yeah.
There's no ramp, but it's just such a cool feature. I don't know what else to say. It's just cool.
Well, you know, you've got maps like Teldrim Ultra that have a choke but no ramp or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I like this answer to it, where you have no ramp, but at the same time you have that high ground. You know, you put a bunker up there, you can get a lot of range from your marauders and the bunkers. Yeah, it's really cool.
It makes it very difficult to forget on this map.
And surprisingly, I don't think people use it enough, you know?
Yeah, some people just don't use it. Sometimes you see people hide factories up there so they can't be scouted. Then they switch with the reactor.
I like to do
down
that.
there. Yeah, it's better that way because otherwise you can see the factory. I mean, you can see the reactor usually knows what's going on, but he doesn't absolutely know.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually is a really good place to hide buildings.
Well, the SCV scout is heading out. Wants to see if TaeLS has taken 2 gases. TaeLS staying in his base for quite some time, not piling and scouting, nor is he core scouting. He is just sitting in his base for a while. I think he's just going to wait for that Zealot Stalker poke.
Could be. I kind of think that's a little bit risky, you know? I mean, although it really doesn't matter too much unless your opponent is doing that really early tech lab.
Well, if you go for a 1 gate into Robo into 2 gate expand type of build,
yeah,
and you scout and you play safely, it doesn't matter what he's doing because you're going to see it in time and you're doing a safe build. But sometimes you just make a Nexus, then you add 2 gates, and then 15 Marines, 4 siege tanks, and
Wolf's having a hard time today. He has to watch the same thing happen over and over again. Looks like it will be a 2 racks opening from TaeJa.
Of course, 1 tech lab, 1 reactor.
Yep, reactor first.
Pretty safe build to do on this map.
Very safe build. I'd say the safest TVP opening there is, actually.
Yeah, it just gives you so many different options. You can be aggressive, you can tech off 1 base, you can expand.
Yep.
There's almost no weakness to it. It's a pretty solid build.
Yeah, it really is.
If someone 4 gates you can possibly die. It's very unlikely you'll die. You should be fine as long as you prepare well enough.
Yep, and he's going to need to raise that other supply depot that Zelts can get in. All right, there it is. There's a bunker there anyway, so there's not really a lot for him to worry about. Going for a concussive shell first. So the fast concussive shell like that would seem to indicate that he'd want to do a bit of an early push once it's about getting done. Usually you push once your first Marauder comes out with this opening, if you want to do that really early push.
He just wants to take control of the watchtowers, I think, with this push. And if TaeLS isn't paying attention, kill Stalker or something like that.
Well, something that's kind of popular on the NA server with this opening too is to pull like 4 or 5 SCVs with it.
Ooh, he's going to bunker this Nexus. It's not really going to work, but it was a cute little move.
That Stalker's like, hey, come on.
If you don't pay attention to that, the Nexus doesn't really have a lot of vision before it's done, similarly to hatcheries, so that could have been really bad if the bunker finished. Now, this attack is going to be really dangerous, but TaeLS should be fine. His warp gate research is done. He's just going to let the Nexus tank a few hits, and he's going to warp in 3 Zealots. Should be okay.
Another bunker being built by TaeJa. And
yeah, he doesn't want that bunker to finish. He should be able to stop it, though. He's got enough units. He's got force field on that sentry as well.
And TaeJa really needs to make a run for it right now.
Yeah, this is not looking good for his units.
I take it back.
Well, he made so many Stalkers, I'm surprised he didn't make a few more Zealots.
I was about to say that because I expected there to be more Zealots like there usually are when a Protoss defends this, but yeah, there's only 1, so...
It's also difficult because he doesn't have a pylon near his Nexus, so he has to warp in units and have them run over here. The Nexus is taking a lot of hits.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of DPS.
Is he going to lose the Nexus?
I
that was
don't know.
close, man.
Yeah.
A little bit of indecisiveness there by TaeJa. He may still get the Nexus, though, if TaeLS backs away. What are you doing, TaeLS? Like,
TaeLS is playing so scared right now.
And now he's losing sentries as well.
Yep.
And the Nexus is going to stay alive with 113 hit points.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
He could just break off like 3 units and kill this.
Yeah. And more reinforcements just rallied on rally there, dying, and TaeLS actually getting the much better end of this. His Nexus is still vulnerable.
Well, here's the danger of doing something like this, is that you start to sort of get ahead a little bit, and then suddenly you're like, oh no, I'm losing, and then you lose most of your units on the back.
Yeah, I mean, he could actually just die to a counterattack. There's a bunker is trying to be constructed. Oh, he's going to wait.
Wow.
He actually could have...
TaeLS could have done a lot of damage right
forced
there.
to cancel on the natural there if he had continued to attack.
Yeah, that's actually the really dangerous thing about doing that push. It's so easy to accidentally... See, he's moving the SCVs up there. He thinks TaeLS is going to counterattack, and most Protoss would. He's actually really lucky that he's not. I hate that feeling when it's like, oh no, when you think you're doing well, and then the next warp in comes, you're like, oh, whoops. And then it's like, well, I can't run from Stalkers, so I guess I'm just going to lose a lot of stuff.
He was a little bit indecisive about the Nexus. I think his choice to back away was the best one, but he attacked it a few too many times, took a lot of extra hits. If he had focused on either the army or the Nexus, he would have been okay. The army still would have won, but he could have traded and got out okay. No. Either way, he's going to be playing from behind now. There's nothing else to say.
I'm kind of wondering now. I have to imagine we're going to see TaeJa try to do a drop a little bit later in the game and take out that Nexus. It's so low right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even
it would be
shields,
silly not to.
Yeah, even with the shields, it's going to be pretty easy to take out. Basically, as soon as TaeLS' army is out of position, he can go in and kill it.
I don't know if you guys remember, we were talking about things from the past in StarCraft 2. I don't know if you guys remember a time where the Nexus had 750, 750.
Those were the good old days, man.
And
back when Zerg buildings had less hit points, too.
Yeah. Well, QXC was just so good with his drops that they nerfed dropships, and they nerfed the acceleration, the movement speed, and buffed the Nexus health because Protoss were losing too many Nexi.
Yep. Then the dark times came.
Well, the Reapers were also nerfed during that patch. That was back before MLG DC, I believe. I remember I was about to get on a plane to go over there, and I was reading the patch notes on, like, right before I got on the plane. I was actually depressed. I was like, Blizzard. I actually didn't like the patch notes. Now I look back. I mean, it's funny how that works out. It's like Blizzard knows better than I do. That's why they're making the decisions.
It turned out okay. I mean, when I complain about it, it's just because I'm purely selfish and I like to kill buildings faster. But ultimately, in game balance decision, yeah, it was better.
The only one I still disagree with, man, is that BBS change. You can't build a barracks before supply depot. That's the only patch change that I will always be upset about. Always. Everything else is okay with me, man.
Let's see what happens. I mean, again, the game is it's in its infancy, you know?
Yep.
So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of changes back in the day. I mean, if you look at Brood War, they were still updating it up to, like, what, 2006 or something like that? So
I'm actually pretty bad with the patch history of Brood War. I just remember every time I patched, I hated it because it took forever to download on my connection. That's all I know about Brood War patches.
And
I know more than
right
that.
now.
I'm just joking, but he's going to drop on the low ground here because there's only Zealots.
Yep.
That's really cute.
And a few on the high ground.
Targeting down the sentry, charge finishes.
Oh, nice, picking up the units like that. Nice unit control by TaeJa, not really taking nearly any damage at all on those units.
Yep, and TaeJa a little bit down in supply, though. He's about 15 supply down. Doing everything he can, though. I like that TaeLS has put pylons at every base, so he can spot expansions and potentially block them. He can also spot dropships with those pylons.
Now, the only thing is, what TaeJa can do is just go around and kill all those pylons, you know?
And that's what he is doing. It's taking him a while, but it's better safe than sorry.
Yep. You'll notice that TaeLS is sticking really close to his natural expansion. He does not want to leave that thing if he can avoid it, because it is so low. And I'm sure that TaeJa is just kind of looking for an opportunity.
As you can see, he's just taking out the pylons around the map. But this does allow TaeLS to prepare for this.
Yeah. There's actually already an Archon out right now. Uh-oh. 2
Archons.
He's going to need to run away. The medevacs are so slow, though.
It's because of the patch we were talking about.
No! All right.
Remember, the Zealots have charge as well, and TaeLS has a very large army around the middle of the map.
Yeah, TaeLS playing a lot better this game than they did last game.
Well, last game was almost like a build or loss.
That too, but I think the jitters have kind of subsided a little bit more too. You know, you get that first game out of your system, and you're like, all right.
He actually didn't go all the way over to hit this dropship. He's going to catch it. Maybe, yes, he does realize what's going on. He got to probe the spot. He's going to catch all these units, maybe. Is he going to get it?
Oh, no.
Oh!
Look out! All right, he gets away.
But if he feedbacks this, he will kill it.
It almost looked like some Marines and Marauders killed the Marauders.
This is so tense, man. Feedbacks it, takes it out.
And that one Marine diced.
No Storm research started yet. Mobius Reactor is done, however, there are 2 Ghosts on the way. Okay. They're going to finish with that Mobius Reactor. Third Nexus finishing up for TaeLS, as the third command center for TaeJa is only halfway done.
And another dropship moving up the right side of the map there. That probe, or that observer rather, not a probe. He's going to see the drop. He's going to see the army moving across. And
he sees everything.
Yep,
very map aware.
It's a lot of Archons actually.
Taking out some probes here. There are photon cannons warping in, but that's not going to matter. He gets out of there immediately.
Yeah. And here comes the army towards the natural right now.
The drop
the medevacs. Oh no.
Yeah.
Whoops. That was a huge mistake. Alright, he has to basically stim and run away. Lost about half his dropships there. Bad unit
not
control by
looking
TaeJa
good.
for a moment there.
30 supply down. The Zealots are picking away the ends of these units.
Yep.
1-1 upgrades against 2-0 for the Pros. Pros having 2 armor, no weapons. +1 attack, about 75% done. +2 weapons, almost done for TaeJa.
And the supply is really starting to favor TaeLS right now. He's about 30 supply ahead.
TaeLS has left a small group of about 12 supply. He's got about 6 Zealots and a High Templar, so a little bit more than that. Even a Sentry back at home to defend against drops. So that isn't, the entirety of his army. He's got like a few more Zealots back at home, but he's leaving those there. I really like that because Zealots are great drop defense. You never want to drop Marauders on top of Zealots. They will die so fast.
Yep.
If the Marauders get dropped out, though, then the Zealots aren't enough. But before that...
And is TaeJa accidentally leaving his ghosts at home?
It looks like that may be the case. He's trying to bait these units over here. He wants to engage at the top of this ramp. Not going to work, though.
No cloak on those ghosts yet, so...
Oh, Zealots running into the third base here of TaeJa, killing a lot of SCVs.
Nice little warp at the same time. Look at all those charged Zealots moving in. Can he micro well against them? The bio dying so quickly, but he did get some EMPs off on all those High Templar, or all those Archons, rather. And it looks like, TaeJa's going to hold this and then some.
It goes back away home. 80 probes to 52 SCVs, so actually TaeJa's army supply is higher than TaeLS' at this point.
Yeah.
And remember, he has a lot of his units back at home in the main, like I was talking about.
Those
are going to be hard to hold.
Made a huge difference.
Is he going to feedback the Ghost? No.
Medevacs.
And it looks like this may be enough to hold. Zealot's not doing a whole lot, though. He's got to go home, and TaeJa looking really strong here.
Wow.
But there are a lot more Zealots warping in. He has to retreat. TaeLS cleaning up a lot of these units. Charged Zealots are just so strong.
Yeah.
Every Marauder that gets caught gets sliced to pieces.
Yeah, that would make me run away, too. All right, in the meantime, a little bit of a counterattack at the third base, but the Warpin is going to be able to deal with that, I would imagine. Yep, plenty of Zealots there, and he does need to pick up. Oh, one High Templar being caught out of position.
High Templar had 200 energy. Doesn't have Storm. He hasn't even started it yet. +3 armor about to finish for TaeLS. Meanwhile, the armor of TaeJa is at level 1. He's almost at 2. His +3 weapons are about to finish. So he's going to be at 3-2 before TaeLS.
And that's a lot of Archons. 5 more Archons being made right now.
He's just completely avoiding Storm.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's okay to do that. He doesn't absolutely have to. If you rely upon Storm, it's somewhat of a liability if your opponent goes heavy Ghosts. But a few good Storms can really change the tide of battle. I'd like to see the Storm.
Yeah.
Either that or more feedbacks.
Well, he already had all of his Archons EMP'd once. I mean, it seems a little bit risky. He's trying to split his units
I like this. Sending some Zealots in the third base again. He's going to engage the main army of TaeJa in a good spot. EMP's hitting all the Zealots, though.
And hitting the Archons as well.
Really good micro from TaeJa.
Wow.
But will it be enough? The Archons cleaning up the rest, and the Zealots coming into flank. They can't micro back anymore. They're in a corner.
And those Archons are regaining a lot of their shields right now. I think TaeJa's in trouble.
Yeah, I think this could be the end for TaeJa. More Zealots and Stalkers coming in here. And the SCVs are falling quite rapidly, EMPing where he can.
Yep.
But I don't think it's going to be enough. GG ties it up 1-1.
So, look at that.
TaeLS isn't bad. Sometimes you just have to do. There's certain build errors that work in better situations than others.
I guess so. TaeLS, the one with the smile after this game. And that's got to be good for the nerves, winning a game like that. TaeJa understandably not looking as happy right now, and so we're going to go to a game 3 on Daybreak, and the winner of this game is staying in GSL. Wolf, the loser, is out. He's going to have to
the danger days.
Danger days here at the GSL Code A with Doa and Wolf. Hope you guys have been enjoying the game so far. We've had some pretty cool matches, and after this one's over, no matter how the next game comes out, we've got 2 more best of 3s. They did a little bit of changing with the schedule, so the foreign players are playing a little bit later this week.
Yeah, I don't know. We weren't able to see exactly how the schedule was changed, but we know that there was some shuffling around because I know a lot of foreign players are traveling. So thanks to Golem for catering to that.
But our next match is after this one is Inca versus Dongregu, so that's going to be really cool. I shouldn't have brought it up because I just want to talk about that. But we've got 1 game left.
Yeah, calm
this matchup.
down, man.
Next map is Daybreak. Did you get a little sound effect with that?
Yeah,
popped up at the bottom. It's pretty cool.
I'm like so bad at pointing at things on the screen.
It's like right in front of me.
Way over there, so it's really easy for you. But for me, I'm like trying to reach over there.
There it is. I can like squeeze the word map. Well, that's not going to work at all. But Daybreak is the next map, and I don't know. I've liked the games that we've seen on it so far. It seems like a cool map. I want to get some games played on it. We'll have to do that later.
Yeah, we'll play some games on it. I've already played with Torch a little bit. I haven't played against any pros on it yet, so I just haven't. But we're going to jump into the game now.